Mr. Stormer was charged with a felony evading arrest in a vehicle. That's a third-degree felony that has a range of punishment of 2 to 10 years. And I was his attorney in that case. Whenever I get a case, there's a process that we go through before any final decisions are made, where we gather evidence from the police, see what the prosecution has. Oftentimes in the case of an evading in a vehicle, it's all caught on tape because all the cars in this jurisdiction have dash cams. Most of the officers have body cams. Most of the time they're in working order. And so an evading arrest in a vehicle, more often than not, is one where everything is documented in a video. Mr. Stormer's case was one of those where there was overwhelming evidence that would support a conviction. In a case like that, we don't want to go to trial. What we want to do is find an outcome that best serves the client and also best serves the community. And this individual is someone whose work record and past criminal history and current circumstances warranted probation, and so we were able to get the prosecution to agree to allow him to have his sentence probated. Would you like to understand how probation works?
Yes, if you want to explain how that works exactly.
Probation is actually called community supervision, and he is assigned a community supervision or probation officer for the duration of his probation. Everyone is when they're placed on probation. They're monitored. There are certain programs that people are required to go through and the programs are different depending on the offense and the person and what their particular needs are. But the goal is to give that person a chance to atone for the offense and at the same time become rehabilitated, deal with any issues that they may have so that they can continue being useful members of the community.
Right, and so just to confirm, based on what was said in the courtroom today, will he be able to still be out in the community as well, or will he be placed somewhere serving this probation?
No, he is in the community. He lives at home. He has a job. He has responsibilities like everyone else. But he's under the scrutiny of the probation department and the courts and has to complete certain programs and courses and pay a fine and fees and be monitored. Part of the process for prosecution in determining whether someone is a good candidate for probation is the danger they may place on society. This particular gentleman is not a danger to society, and is often the case. People who are charged with a crime are not continuing dangers to society. There are people that have made bad choices who need an opportunity to get past whatever it is they did and reintegrate back into society. That serves the community also, because we don't have people sitting in jail and prison. We have people who are working, contributing to their families, supporting their children, and becoming useful members of society.
And so I guess what's next after today, course proceeding? Of course, he'll be under that supervision, but do you mind explaining what happens if that's violated?
Okay. If a person is placed on probation and violates their probation, the probation department can implement some strategies to deal with the root cause of the violation. The judge could order some kind of rehabilitation, some kind of punitive measures if it's something minor. If there's a major violation or a major breakdown in probation, then a warrant is issued. The individual who's violated their probation is arrested, and there's a hearing in front of the judge to, number one, determine if the allegations are actually true, and then if they are true, to determine what to do about it. And if someone's probation is revoked, then they're sentenced to prison. So in the case of someone who's sentenced to 10 years in prison and then placed on probation for 10 years, if at any time during that probation they're charged with a violation and the judge finds that to be true, the implication is you're going to prison for 10 years. And so someone faced with a probation violation, their starting point is that number. And if we can present some kind of mitigating evidence to convince a judge to go lower, then they can do that, because they can still consider that range. But a lot of judges look at probation as a contract between themselves and the defendant, that you're going to do probation or you're going to do the amount of time that you agreed to when you went on probation.
And is there anything else you'd like to say or add regarding this plea hearing today?
No, except to say that this is a perfect example of someone who is deserving of a chance at probation, who is actually already a productive member of society, and it serves absolutely no purpose to warehouse people in our prison system if there's another way to address violations of the law.